Are you thinking of moving to Calgary? Well, I got 5 reasons why you shouldn't. Hey everybody, my name is Chamberlain, and if you are like me, you kind of want to know what you're walking into. I don't like surprises. Ask my wife. I like to know what's happening, have a plan, a little bit like understand where I'm going. When we go on vacations, I really want to kind of do some research, get a little bit acquainted to where we are, and know where we're going. And that's what I want to do for you today. So if you're moving to Calgary, I want to have no surprises for you because there are a lot of you moving to Calgary right now. So here are our 5 reasons why you shouldn't move to Calgary. All right. The first one is you just don't like winter. I see comments all the time about how we live in an Arctic world and it is crazy here and blah, 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 blah. All right. I like winter. I'm born and raised in Calgary, so a lot of these are kind of funny for me to say, but I do like winter, and you have to embrace it if you're moving to Calgary. Calgary can have 6 months of winter, right? But here is the silver lining with that. We have Chinooks. Not many other cities have Chinooks. Because of where we're located, right by the mountains, we get this warm wind coming over. And as I'm shooting this, the last couple of weeks, we've actually been at 0 or even 10 degrees some days, or even just -5, where weeks before that, we were at -38 with wind chill. So we have these real big change in fluctuations in weather and temperatures. But again, our weather is dry, and so we'll get to that, but it's a little different than a humid cold. Totally different. All right, so you don't like winter. That's number one. If you're not a fan of winter, and you're not going to embrace winter sports, you're not going to embrace the outdoors in winter, you're not willing to buy a jacket, layer up, don't come to Calgary. All right, number 2, if you really like hot, humid, hot summers, don't come to Calgary. All right. Now, we have great summers. I love spring and fall. The seasons are really short. I wish they were longer, but more actually fall. If you like a really long fall, that should be number 6. But if you like a long fall, don't come to Calgary. The fall here, it feels like sometimes it's 2 weeks and the leaves are gone and then we're into winter. It's really different. But if you like really hot summers, you shouldn't move to Calgary, because we don't have these 30 plus for months and it's humid, all that kind of stuff. We don't have that. Now, there are probably 2 to 3 weeks where we could see, mid 30s. At most 3 weeks, we could see that. But most of the time, it's kind of like mid 20s, low 20s. Some days are high 20s. But that's kind of what the summer is. Now, I remember growing up where we did see like colder temperatures randomly sometimes in the summers. I remember maybe my graduating year or late in high school. And it was after May Long. So typically after May Long, you don't have much snow. But sometimes it was like in June and we got this massive dump of snow and it was really weird. So we've had those over the years. But again, that's 40 years of memories. So it's not like it's typical. It's very rare. Third one. If you enjoy lakes and beaches and driving to them and they're not far from you, don't move to Calgary. For real. We've got within an hour and a half drive for lakes and beaches. There are a handful of them. Some of the bigger ones are like Sylvan Lake, Gull Lake. They're north, so you head north towards Red Deer, and Sylvan Lake is just right beside Red Deer. There are some other ones like Pigeon Lake, I think. I don't even know, honestly, because there's not that many. You're going to have to drive 3 to 4 hours or more to get lakes. And a lot of those are going to be in BC. So if you go 3 hours or so over the mountains and into Invermere and Radium and Windermere, there's a beautiful lake out there. It's busy, really busy, but it's beautiful. You can go to Lake Koocanusa down south. That's also about 3-4 hours. And then you can go past that, and then you get into Mare Lake and the Shuswaps and all that. But you're about a 6-7 hour drive to get to some of those properties and areas that have lakes. So if that's what you love, we don't have very many of them. However, I should say, there are a bunch of lake communities in Calgary. So I'm going to put a card right here. If you want to move into a lake community in Calgary, check out this video, because we do have communities that have lakes, but you have to be a resident there to go to them. So just so you know that. Now, the fourth one is you enjoy a humid climate. You love walking out and it hits ya. You know, like sometimes in the States, in the lower parts, lower part of the US, you just walk out, like in Arizona, it's poof, actually that's dry. But you know, Toronto in the summer, you walk out and boom, it just hits you, right? The humidity. Or even in Manitoba. Calgary isn't like that. We're still very dry. We're a very dry climate. It's just what it is. I mean, I'm aging. I'm just getting personal. I'm aging. I'm getting dry eyes. Like they're tearing up right now. It is ridiculous. I don't know what it is, but being here, growing up, getting older, dry eyes suck. Not that you're going to have it right when you get here. But I read a stat that 90% of Albertans as they age could have dry eyes. I was shocked by that. But I actually think that is part of our dry, there's not a lot of humidity here, right? So it's a dry climate. That's the word I'm looking for. Climate. All right. That's number 4. Number 5 is different. If you love not owning a car, don't move to Calgary. The way that Calgary has been built and the road system that is here is you have to have a car to get around, or you're using transit. And I guess you could use Uber and all that kind of stuff too, but you need a car to get around the city. The city itself, if you're going around the city and you're really making driving around everywhere, it's gonna be hard to bike. There's a lot of bike paths that has increased like dramatically over the last 10 years. So you could pretty much bike everywhere, but it's not super simple, right? And so the size of Calgary, if you look at the map of Calgary and you lay it over like Manhattan, it's kind of very similar to that size. So Calgary is really spread out. It is really big. I know for myself, like I did bike and I have biked from the north to the south and back, and it's it was a good long ride. It took a couple hours, but it's far. And I know you could easily do 50 kilometers, drive around the city, all that kind of stuff. So it's a big city. It's really laid out. So if you don't want to own a car and you pride yourself on not owning a car, you might want to choose a location in the city where you're moving to, where there's a ton of amenities and you can walk around and figure that out. And there definitely are communities like that inside the city. But to get around the city, it is tough without a vehicle. So those are the 5 reasons. So if any of those 5 are just deal breakers for you, then don't move to Calgary. But when you do, and if you do, hit us up, because we would love to help you transition to Calgary, because we love it here and we know you will too. And there's a lot of stigmas out there across the country about what Calgary really is. They're not true. Calgary is entrepreneurial. Calgary is friendly. Calgary is beautiful. You can drive, an hour to the mountains. You got so many things you can do here. It is fantastic. So, but if those 5 are deal breakers, hands down, don't move to Calgary. Let's just call it off. But on that note, subscribe. Because again, we're on a race to 12,000 subscribers. So if you love this video, love the content, you love what we do, how we're helping, our goal is to help families transition here in the city and even across the country if we can. But that's what our goal is. So subscribe to this channel. We're gonna be giving away someone's month of rent or mortgage payment once we hit 12,000 subscribers. But on that note, I will see you guys on the next video.